To the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule and teach well. Peace and salutation to the brothers and the folk on this earth, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. And with them not to saying shalom once again with another video, more or less a continuation on when I posted up last night. Right? Let's be one second. I'm gonna just put this phone on silent. Yeah. So one of the brothers put up in the group chat. Now I did a video last night about after 11 minutes. So probably went up after I mentioned in the video was that, you know what I mean, excerpt from an article that he also posted saying Iran says they're going to retaliate soon, right? And look at the time that he shared this. 1:16 a.m. And I talking about I uploaded my video. And I was like, and when I read that part in the article, I was like, when this is soon, I mean, could be next half an hour, could be whenever. I'll go run through some of the excerpts that he posted up today. This was one, right? It says, breaking, Iran has launched 100 drones towards Israel. This is after 1 a.m. this morning, right? Just in, Iran officially raises its red flag of revenge, right? So they make up their mind. They go into war. This is happening. It says, this one says, Israel tricked the entire Air Force command into meeting for an emergency, then killed them all. Just in Pentagon orders destroyers including USS Thomas Hodner toward the Eastern Mediterranean. So the US getting involved. Right? Concerning the one on top, I don't know which air guard they check or Air Force to check. But yeah. Now this video. Alright, yeah, this video here. This video is basically of a newscast, right?
Careful who you are around in terms of large events, Jewish events. I mean, this sounds like we've gone backwards decades in terms of the threat on Jewish lives. But that's exactly what this is also about.
Yeah, they're talking in favor of the 48ers, right? Like the 48ers are the victim, and they didn't create this. You understand? Netanyahu who admitted that they does do that is create a war and then play victim. He said that.
Harris, I actually think it's just the converse of that. I do agree this could be a very high tension, stressful, and indeed there may be an event somewhere in the world. It's not just the missiles or drones they'll fly to Israel, but the Iranian IRGC, the very leadership the Israelis destroyed last night, has been working in nearly every country around the world, including the United States of America, to plant little terror cells all across the world. Hezbollah was doing the same. So this will be a very difficult period. But in the end, this was not a reckless attack, but indeed what they did was decent and just and righteous, and will reduce risk to the Jewish diaspora around the world, and for Israel and for the United States. A really good set of outcomes are in the offing, so long as Israel is prepared to finish the task, and as long as the world unites to provide continued deterrence and defense to prevent Iran from conducting all kinds of attacks. I think of cyber threats that will probably be projected around the world too. Iranians have a great cyber program, so lots of vectors for them to respond. We all need to be alert and responsive and do everything we can to deter them from coming after any American anywhere in any field.
Yeah, there's a video and you hear how they're talking. Now this have potential to also raise many false flags, you know? Meaning they could bomb their own cities and say it's Iranians or Iran terrorists or whatever, or shut down the water system or the power grid and blame it on the Iranian hacker or whatever the case may be. You understand? That is how they fight warfare. This last exhibit here says Yemen Houthis launch ballistic missile at Israel, right? So now we see where the Joel tree comes into play. Not 10 or 11. Yeah, Joel 3 and 12. It says, "Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I set to judge all the heathen round about." You understand? So the entire Middle East, right? That whole coast there, the whole coastline, they when I say coastline, I don't literally mean the coastline, but they getting involved. Right, so Yemen, Iran, all these Arabic countries fighting the 48ers, right? But the 48ers are backed by who? None other than Big Brother, the US of A, right? That is why in one of the previous excerpts, it's the US sending the destroyer fighters and whatever the case may be to assist to the Mediterranean. You understand? It's Mediterranean or Middle Eastern. I believe it's Middle Eastern. That's not almost if I get back the excerpt. Let me just be accurate in the information. Eastern Mediterranean, yeah. Eastern Mediterranean. So yeah, I basically around that area, right? So you see where the war is, what you see the prophecy coming to pass. It say, well, let the heathen be weakened and come to the valley of Jehoshaphat. You understand? They going, right? It says, "Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe." Yeah, it's that time. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. Right? Yeah, they're gonna have a lot of countries being involved in that war over there. Days will start and it will spread like a fire. Because now they go into, you know what I mean? Everybody have a big brother country, right? Everybody have a backup country. You understand? A country willing to go to war for them or on their beliefs or on their behalf, rather. Yeah. All the countries involved, country that willing to go to war with whoever on their behalf, right? And the thing is, it could just boil down to America versus Russia. That is how it's going to boil down. You understand? Because that is just how it's set up. On the American side, you know what I mean, they back in the 48ers. On the Iranian side, they indirectly backed by Russia and BRICS. You know what I mean? Indirectly, but still, they're going to get them to come. That's what the precepts in here, all the heathen. You understand? And they will flatten America. Yeah, wish I still has to come and flatten the place regardless. But the missiles, along with your wish I will wipe out America. You know? By the way, this is an impromptu. I didn't read through these things. You know what I mean? I didn't prep anything. Just going with the spirit. Zephaniah 1 and probably I'll start at 14. Yeah, I'll start at 14. Zephaniah 1 and 14. It says, "The great day of Yahweh is near. It is near. And hasted greatly here." You understand? Because Because look how the war escalate, look at where it come to in a matter of days, or hours rather. A matter of hours, they already beginning, you know what I mean? In the video I do last night, I was saying it on the cusp, but not on the cusp no more. It's full-fledged war. It's all a war right now. Right? It says the great day of Yahweh is near. It is near, and he stood greatly, even the voice of the day of Yahweh. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly. The day is a day of that day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. You understand? So all the cities that think hey, the defenses up, they have an iron dome, they are this, all kind of thing, the best air force in the world, the best navy in the world, nothing better than the Yahushai, nothing. Nothing a man create could best Yahushai. Always remember that. He is the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. He said that. You understand? In Revelation 22, if I'm not mistaken. Right? That is what he said. He is the beginning and the end. So how you feel you could make something and bestow it and best him. You understand? That can happen. He is the source code. He is the source material, in other words. You know? Nothing can best him. You understand? Nothing can best him, but they'll try. Go to the apocrypha for this person. So okay, second is just 13. I'll start from 1. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamt a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. Yeah, who that is? That is the beginning and the end. You understand? He is the beginning and the end. About everything what trembled that was under him. It says, and whosoever the voice, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all the burn that heard his voice, like as the earth feeleth, it feeleth the fire. When, so okay, like as the earth feeleth when it feeleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. And I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and flew upon it. But I would have seen the regional place where the hill was graven, and I could not. Can't see where the ship was. Start and end the fathership. Right? It said, after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were what? So afraid, and yet this fight. Right? They're still fighting. They're frightened. Go away, the backfire. But the pride is what they're going into war with, the pride. about basically starting the war, and that is what continue the war. You understand? They feel the better than everybody else on doing this. They are actually the lowest of the low. You can't get lower than Esau. Right? That is it. You understand? They go beat it, but they will fight. Because of the pride, because of the belief in Egypt, because of in Egypt, in the system, in the pharaohs, right? In the sorceries and sorcerers, right? Because they trust in them, they don't feel they can stand a chance. Because look at the genocide they just commit. But then you say, you know, them selling, them bombing Iran and whatever was righteous and just, and what the fuck? Like really? How is that so? You know? So you know, we can't trust the news. I mean, we knew that a long time, but even more so now. It's more evident, more rampant, right? Because they live for Egypt, they thrive by doing the service of Egypt. Like, are we supposed to thrive doing the service of Yahushai? Right? Always keep that in mind. You know? So yeah, that was just the point on this video. The war has begun, and you're going to live out the prophecies, you're going to see it happen in real time, live. You know? So until next time, shalom.